Good morning. How are you doing? I hope your week is started off really, really well. I'm going to talk to you a bit today about visibility, which is really important right now. You can see what's happening at the moment. It's all a bit noisy out there, and it's really important that you're visible. So let's talk visibility and why it's really, really important. Visibility. You will have seen that at the moment there's two things happening in the markets. The first thing is that people are warier. They're not buying, I can tell you that for a fact because we're selling out everything we do, but they are warier of what is going on. So they are making much better decisions, taking more time to make decisions on the things they are buying. They are on social media more, so they're seeing more. Is the second thing. But the other thing is it's noisy and you need to be visible right now. If you are one of those people that, does a bit of visibility but isn't consistent, like does a bit and then disappears for a couple of weeks, that is not going to be good for you right now, because people are really looking to buy from people that are consistently there, that they see all the time, that have this great solid background of being there, and knowing that they're reliable and they're not just going to disappear or anything like that, and that they can see that other people have had good results with them for whatever it is that you do. So visibility has become more important than ever. We saw that kind of towards the middle of this year, and it's getting even more so now as we go into next year, which could be a little bit tougher in the first quarter. Now I feel like a newsreader. So, what can you do to become visible? Who feels like they are completely visible right now? Who feels like they're everywhere and that people can see them everywhere? Let me know in the comments if that's you. Who feels like they need to be doing a bit more on visibility and that they know that? I would love to know from you guys where you feel you're actually at with visibility, because the first part of this is becoming really honest with yourself about visibility. I have a lot of people come to me and say, I'm visible, I'm everywhere, I'm always doing something for visibility, and then I'll go on to their social media and I won't see them anywhere. I won't see any PR for them. I won't see that they've been on any podcast. Like, they just aren't everywhere, but they think they are because they've done a couple of things. It's that consistently that's really important. I do not want you to get that mixed up with constantly. They are very different. Constantly and consistently are different. You don't need to be constantly visible. You just need to be consistent. So that honesty, being honest with where you are right now so that you can improve things if you need to, is what we start with. But really what we need to be doing. Okay, so if you're in total hiding, you need to come out of hiding, because people can't buy from people if they don't know you exist. It's as simple as that. And a website's not going to cut it. So the first thing is have a plan. Have a strategy plan. Don't just say I'm going to be more visible. Say, what is my strategy to become more visible? How are you going to do that? And remember, a strategy really is just a plan. You write down what you're going to do to make something happen. And then you break it all down. So we need to have a multi-layered visibility strategy. One strategy doesn't work anymore. You know how Facebook, you used to just be able to do Facebook and do a Facebook group and that would be it. That's no longer working. What you need is a multi-layered visibility strategy. So, you first of all, when you're putting this strategy together, when you're writing your plan of how you're going to be visible, I want you to bear in mind with everything you do that you're writing this plan, and in the back of your head, you need to write it with your ideal clients in mind. So it's no good going, well, this person over here, in her strategy, what she's done is she's doing LinkedIn and TikTok all the time and it's doing really well for her. Great. But if your ideal clients aren't on TikTok or on LinkedIn, that's not going to do anything for you. So you need to be really, really keeping in the back of your mind that you can't just do what everyone else is doing. You need to have your own multi-layered strategy. So that's the first thing you think about. You start to write that strategy. Then what you do is you break it down so that you can execute it, because a strategy or a plan is absolutely nothing if it's just written and you're not doing anything with it. I have lots of people that write brilliant plans, but they don't execute them. They don't implement them. So implementation is the biggest thing. We know that any action is better than no action. So if you are just doing the same thing all the time, you're going to get the same results that you're getting right now all the time. You put some kind of action in and it will change things. And it might not be the perfect action, but it will change things, and you will get data from it, you will get metrics from it, so that you will be able to then know what to do more after that. Like, what do you need to double down on, what's working and what's not. But action is always the thing we need to do. So for implementation for a visibility strategy, especially a multi-layered one, it's about breaking it down, because you might have lots of different parts to it. And when you break it down, try and break it down into weeks. So as an example of this, if you said, right, for my visibility strategy, my goal for part 1, you should probably have around 6 to 7 parts, but my goal to part 1 of my visibility strategy is I want to have an extra 4,000 people on my list in the next year. On social media, I want to have an extra, 5,000 followers, and the engagement rate to go up by 2%. Let's say that. So if you're doing that, then what you do is you break it down. So if you know that you need X amount in a year, how many do you need in a month? Break it down again. How many do you need in a week? That's much more doable, achievable than thinking of a year. So then it might be, okay, I only need to get 50 this month, which means I only need to get, 17 or whatever in a week, new followers or new people on my list. Then you break down how you're going to do that. So for your list, it might be I'm putting a new funnel out there, or it might be that you're going to speak in somebody's group and hopefully you'll get 17 new followers from that or more. Whatever the things are that you've decided to do to be visible in your strategy, you write down how you're going to get there. Everything in business is just about breaking down how you're going to get there. Break it down and then put how you're going to do it. But can you see why without a visibility strategy, that really isn't going to work? And it's about consistency as well. So some people say, okay, I am going to be consistent going live on my group or on my Instagram, IGTV, or I'm going to do 10 stories a day on Instagram. And that is going to be my consistency for becoming more visible to my ideal clients who are hanging out there. And then they do that for 3 weeks, and then they kind of let it go a bit, and then they're only doing it every 3 days, and then they're only doing it once a week, and then they're doing it even less. That's not consistency. And so what's going to happen is when you start again, it's like starting again. Like when you diet. It's like starting all over again. And you don't want that. You want it to be consistent. I've been visibly consistent for 5.5 years now. Like, consistent. Not constant. I can disappear for a month and no one will know because I will have uploaded some videos. I will have had some, Facebook or YouTube or Instagram stuff going out without me there. So I've not been constantly there. I haven't been able to be, but I've been really, really consistent, and people know that I'm going to show up all the time. So, step 1, write down your visibility strategy. Step 2, put an execution plan in place, which basically means to break everything down into monthly or weekly. And step 3, do it. Actually do it. Tick it off. Time block it in if you need to. We talked about time blocking on another live, but you have to do it. And there will be times, as in any job, that you don't want to do it. That you're like, I don't really feel like doing it today. Tough. If you were in a job, would your boss let you say, I don't really feel like doing my job today? No, you'd be fired. Well, you are your boss now. So when you don't really feel like doing something, you've got to find that motivation and that why and that purpose to do it anyway. Doesn't mean if you're sick or anything like that that you have to do it. It just means that sometimes we won't really want to do things, but we might have to do them. And actually, when we do them, it's never as bad as we think. Like standing on a stage. That was in my visibility strategy for this year. Wanting to stand on 3 of the biggest stages in the UK, which I've done. I've got 1 more to do. So I put it in there and I broke it down. Pitch to the different places. Build relationships with those people so that you can get on those stages. Work out what you're going to talk about. So it was all broken down and I achieved what I wanted to achieve. Did I want to do it? Honestly, did I want to stand on a stage in front of lots of people? No, not particularly. It is one of the things that puts fear in me. But I knew that if I want to get to the end result, if I want to get the things that I want in my business, I'm sometimes going to have to do things that I would rather not do. I'm going to have to come out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to have to do things that ordinarily I would not do. And so I did them, and it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. So if you're not visible right now and you're not as visible as you need to be, I want you to start doing this, to start breaking things down, having an actual plan for visibility. It's probably the most important plan, the most important strategy that you have in your business is your visibility strategy. I want you to at least start with a visibility strategy. It's really important that you do that and don't just wing it. Like, businesses who are really successful leave clues. The one thing they don't do is wing anything. They have a strategy for every single thing. Everything to do with visibility should go towards a goal. So it should be one main goal that's broken down into smaller goals. So if my main goal is I want to make 6 million next year, then my visibility strategy will be like, well, how many more people do I need in my audience to be able to sell enough things to make that 6 million? That will be then, right, I need this many more people. Where do I want them? Well, I want them across all of these places because that's where my ideal clients are, and then I will break it down further from there. I hope that makes sense. I hope this has helped you. Go and do one thing today that makes you more visible. One thing. Just because then you will have done something, and that action is going to become more important than you know.